Oh, this. La 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 la. This stream is now in session. Obi-Wan 362 Gamer Law presiding. And welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Back hopping into episode 4, The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Kokoro? Kokoro, Kokoro. Just look at all the naughty books packed together on these shelves. They go from floor to ceiling. They're all books that you couldn't hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream. Yeah, a very bad dream. They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial systems of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland. What about Russia? Why do you ask? I was wondering about asking the Lord Chief Justice how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think? I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room. I believe they're suits of armor. Oh, right. Thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan, guarding shrine gates. No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know. And they roam around in the middle of the night. Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Mr. Sato? This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. Apparently. If you're ever unsure, just ask. Where does she get that incredible tome? Yeah, how do you look up what this is without knowing what it is? Like... Oh, is it being rude again? This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble. Looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me. I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo. Just like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home, it's made of bricks and stone here. I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure. Also, probably the giant gears. Is this some kind of clock? Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. Those gears, larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive even. It's eerie. I think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? Lord Chief Justice, I mean. Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they? I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size. I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Does he have a handful of chips? Oh my gosh. What? He just, like, twitches and makes more food! Oh my gosh, it's Jesus. Yeah. Look at that. He's like, no. Look. I'm telling you. He's increasing the amount of fish that he can eat. And he's also increasing the starches. That's Jesus. That's literally a Jesus miracle. Bubbles staring at me angrily because she can't fight that. Because I'm right. She threw a piece of plastic at me. Hiya! I had a voice in mind when I saw him, and I lost it because Bubbles distracted me. Problem is, all I can hear in my head right now is Commissioner Gordon because we've been watching Batman the Animated Series. I'm not sure I could do a very good Commissioner Gordon. Well, what do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English jet eaten out of your hand, you know. But Chisato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man. Very busy man. I'm busy over here performing miracles. I'm gonna be the patron saint of fish and chips. There's a crime scene to investigate. I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying? Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. All because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. You mean Japan? Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard, going to Tanner's. So you need to rip us apart as well, jeez. Also, stop that. You should chew longer before you... I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, the defense lawyer. Eh? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Sue... Eh? It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? It isn't seasonally fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable. How did she pull that off? So, ahem. So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Sato-san? Does the detective's name mean something to her? I'm gonna guess it has something to do with Herlock Sholmes. Inspector, are you perhaps... the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato. But he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Ranced magazine? That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful, friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Yeah, Bump, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course. But he does come up with the goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise? Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. It's great, isn't it? I have to admit, to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. That's wonderful, isn't it? No, it is not! There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? No. It's changed since he started appearing in those stories. Fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that. Gosh, you think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, they whisper. So I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what folk are like. I'm sure that what they're saying, I'm sure that's what they're saying. Sure as eggs is eggs. Well, it's pretty sure. I can't find fault in that argument. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear. Perhaps sudden rise to fame does change people. Mr. Sato, now. Please, no. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, couldn't be simpler. Oh dear, that probably means... As far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. That... might be fair. Wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal. She's still laid up in hospital, unconscious. Despicable! What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off at the Susato takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. But also, yes. Brace yourself here, Rinosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. We barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question? Now you got yourself conscious. I'm like, you're doing it again. You know what I did now. She's like, Mom, what are you doing, Mom? Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry. There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Beric von Zykes. No. Boss was like, I want him to have said he's dead. Like, why are we having a trial then? Sounds like you've heard of him then. Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zykes. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. The Reaper of the Bailey. Reaper of the Bailey! Lord Beric von Zykes, whom we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGilden told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When Van Zykes stands for the prosecution, we call the accused as sacrificial lambs. In every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. Suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector. That in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zykes, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. Ha! And what of it? Huh? I think, that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? Shove those fish and chips in his pocket. What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. No balls, I do not keep my fish and chips in my pocket. Keep them on the plate or in my mouth, as God intended. Magnus McGilded came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zykes could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. That's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. Like a vampire. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you, as I go back to performing my white magic, which is how I just continually reproduce fish and chips. No, he didn't say that. Of course he didn't say that. Bubbles thought he actually said white magic. Oh, that'd have been hilarious. Are you supposed to believe that? Right, well, I've filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. How? You keep just reproducing chips. So I'll be headed back to the crime scene now. That's where I collect all my magical energy to make more fish and chips. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place? That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. Bring him a criminal already? He's as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. He'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, I think it's too much for you. There's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. It's really rude, Bubbles. It's a very somber moment. If the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Do you really think you had to ask? Maybe. After all, I'm your judicial assistant. She's so cute. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes! Let's go! On the road to Viridian City. Let's head to the prison first and meet our client. Huh? I'm sorry, I'm sure we can bend it back. 19th of February, local prison, cell 9. So these are British prison cells. No, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. Wonder what he's like. Oh, inmate 53. Your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding in the back of the cell and show your face at once. My cat, as yet with no name, calling me by a number. It's utterly unbelievable. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think is going on here? I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, it's definitely going to be Herlock Sholmes. 100%. That tirade of complaints, was in Japanese. Oh! Who are you? Sir. Excuse me, but who? Shh! Quiet! They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it. Sir, stop. You're being twitchy, sir. Right. So, can I ask you who I... There you are! You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it! You're a ghost! Sir... A ghost? We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you... Oh, gosh. I wasn't prepared, and there was flashes of color. Where are you going with that one? Oh, I thought you'd put one of your other ones in there. I don't know if you just put it out on the porch light. It says it's for indoor use only, but pretty sure the bulb we put out there last year was too, so. Are you Japanese by any chance? Oh. This is beyond my wildest dreams. Did you get it? Okay. Forgive me for that outburst. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land! So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damn, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment! Oh, okay. Are you the Great Saiyan? What's this nonsense? Who could have guessed that this new client, only strong heart assigned to us, turned out to be a fellow Japanese? What compassion my fellow countrymen show! To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. So, about that. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon! A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. Morale's right, Pump. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example. Yes, I can. I will. Shunt, stay sullen and silent! Sir? I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but seems happy. Yes, he does. Just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Rinosuke Naruhodo. I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikatoba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notably, notoriously named Natsumi! Soseki Natsumi. Cool. Alright. Soseki Natsumi, son. What an unusual name. Bubbles, how difficult would it be to make this? We can make this part of our sewing project, right? Strap. Yeah. Like a big white band of leather with a tan band of leather. Kitchen.
Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. A writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume.
Nom de plume? You mean an alias? That's right, Naruhodo-san.
No, no, no! It's a prosaic. It's much more refined than that.
And haiku? Really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government?
Yes, yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. So I had to suffer that misery. Now this is beyond the pale.
Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here?
No. I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course.
Huh.
But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. Does it mean you can do it? No.
What do you mean?
They told me to study English literature. That I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, believably, unjustly, unreasonable.
Sir, I see.
Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I turned in a blank piece of paper. Lies, words, on white, washy.
You must be a man of great standing.
Oh yes, so I am often told.
Often like to be told, it seems. So, you want to tell me about the nonsense? Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san?
I didn't do it. I didn't commit the atrocious murder.
Murder?
Oh, no. No, no. It's alright. Woman didn't actually die, did she? Please, no. But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes.
Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker?
I didn't see anyone.
What? Yeah, what? Bubbles got new LED light bulbs, so now she's changing the colors in the kitchen. Which I can see out of the corner of my eye.
See the person who did it? Do you think I'd be locked up in here?
This is your opportunity to make it like like the bulb in the corner. It's pretty magenta. Yep. Oh dear, it seems this case has become rather complicated.
Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse. The curse of London. It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to take a breath. Sir, take your pocket square, wipe that bit of sweat from over your eyebrow, and let's just calm down a little bit. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. Let's finally find out more about the case. Like, do we have to ask him, though?
It was a coast evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I had been in the bookshop to buy some books. I was on my way back to my cursed lodgings.
Sure the bookshop wasn't accursed too?
As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the soulless silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream, collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet.
How terrible.
I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard.
Like this pump. Looked a lot like this. Well, Bubbles has turned our apartment into a dark room. Put red lights and nothing else. Good. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps, maybe? Hopefully.
I was terrified. I had to get away from there.
It's a Halloween setting. It just flashes orange. Huh.
So I ran, just as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. I say it was shameful, I know.
I mean, maybe that's intentional. Because before they were at the same time. I mean, you said the reviews online where they became desynced.
So it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous. You think I know any of these fair-haired English? A young woman at that? I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people.
I feel that. I feel that. I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. At the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you?
Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul.
No one? Great. So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. Creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? Purple-nab. Purple-nab. What conundrum? Conundrum. What do you mean, Susato-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. Who did the stabbering? He says that he didn't know the victim, that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen.
I did! I did!
Hey, what are you doing? The tray's not stuff for you to play with. If that's the case, then how did they figure out you were there? This man has to be the culprit?
Ew! What did you just say?
Nothing? Hey, I didn't say anything! Oops. Oops, I thought that a little loudly. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested? Sorry? He didn't touch the victim. There's nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh yeah, she's right.
It was him. The accursed great detective. He led the police on me.
Oh, Sholmes.
Of all the bad luck.
Cursed great detective. Could it be?
Should I ever forget that man's name? This haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, bigoted, busybody, be gone! May you be accursed till the end of your days, Airlock Sholmes!
I knew it! Mr. Sholmes? Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. But here we are.
It was the morning after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese, and some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police! Put the weapon down! Yes, it was a thin sliver. Yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination devils!
Sir, I need you to stop. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday.
And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Airlock Sholmes!
It's actually Erlock Sholmes? He's English.
Since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London.
Yes, the great detective is really very well known.
His overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts apparently. God bless you, Bubbles!
He thinks he's a knife-wielding madman.
Me? This weak, stooped kitten of a man?
What great deduction process led to his conclusion this time? Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That'd be really most unreasonable. I mean, you're correct.
Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in.
Of course you were. It's only natural.
I was terrified and trembling. He kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish foreign film flamery.
Well, we're in England. Can't really blame them for questioning you in English.
Good point, good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. I just kept repeating things like, yes I do, and I'm fine. Next thing I knew, see the manacles. Before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. You seem like you got some problems.
Fine? It's not fine now. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
Oh. You can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking in English, a simple Mr. is more than enough.
Oh, yes, alright, yes, they really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. Please, I beg you defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you?
Well,
Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me?
well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour.
Ah, a student?
I would find a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. At this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, Naruhodo-san. Even the foreign student is supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose.
But that armband, that's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire.
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend.
A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me.
Oh? Who do you mean?
The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me.
Goodness. Why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around. I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
It must be very hard for you, Suzaki-san.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. Just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. With them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot, than any computation at all. Compunction makes more sense. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And, of course, the foreigner did it. But I didn't do it. Even had the gall to say, the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway.
I'll put you down. It's awful.
You're wrong. I'm studying more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets.
Do you remember any of it?
traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I to trust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue.
Okay.
You could do it, couldn't you? I look at your eyes. I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Seki-san, it's just that... Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can for the time being.
What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it'll give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes! Yes! Thank you! I'll be here all alone waiting for you, locum student Mr. Haruda Esquire!
Should be going then, Mr. Naruhodo-san.
The case to prepare for.
Jaboom. Yeah, my God, I'm gonna present. Hey! Hey! No! Don't chew on that! It's a sticker off one of your pots, I assume? It's a barcode? I'm eating trash, Mom. You left it down here, so I'm eating it. Nope, it's down here on a tray, Mom. Food goes on trays. Jeez. So tired.
February, Briar Road.
Like Briar Rabbit. So this is where it happened. Briar Road. Look, Mr. Naruhodo! Look at that regulation metal helmet! It's unmistakable! Men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak.
That is their job, you know.
Mr. Naruhodo, I see one with my own eyes. Often depicted in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, I never dreamt I'd come this close. To a real Bobby's helmet. Oh, these flat-footed Bobbies. What? The helmet? Of course. I have to try one on one day. I don't think I can. Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true. Why wouldn't they? Bubbles is wondering if they get fish and chips in cones. In England nowadays. Sure there's still probably places.
What's a Japanese delegation? What's the Japanese delegation doing here?
Oh, Inspector Gregson.
This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So, you've been to the holding cells then? What do you make of the criminal?
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
We'll see about that. Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow. Whatever happens, the verdict's a foregone conclusion. Still air of objection.
Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone-cold air. That makes it worse somehow. Or better, whatever. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place. Hey, no, what did I just get on telling you? So, no, Mom, it's on the floor. I think it does, Mom.
The Yard? Most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am.
Oh, you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
Does make them look the part. Seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. Certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city.
Oh, yes. Doesn't he look wonderful?
She's so cute. Being in London, Bobby's hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Get out of bed. Goes around and rouses all the laborers on his beat so they can get off to work.
What? He wakes people up?
Yep. Raps on their windows with a long pole. And myself going back a bit.
No idea.
Bobby works for the people of the town. Just another one of his duties. With that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long.
Pump. Sure is. Pump, what's happening? Pump, is she playing hide and seek with you? She's playing peekaboo with you?
That was adorable. He has to cover 20 miles a day. It's the regulation distance. Can't imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Let me see. 20 miles. It's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. And when it gets dark, of course, is the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
My.
And so in between all those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well?
So I still get concerned because it was like this when she got herself caught in the. Yeah, that was adorable. Popping up, what's she doing to you? She's after criminals that trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More alongside, but yes. Expecting to handle those jobs as well? We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit.
I always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo.
What?
What?
Every heart will be my heavy head if you do. It happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago. Just there on that open bit of pavement. A victim, a young woman, stabbed the blade from behind.
Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in hospital.
I never said she was a lady. Truth is, if she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all.
So that means there you haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course.
There's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want.
Really?
Gosh. You sure? It's your policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of information to go on. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. Okay. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim, your fellow countryman. So who did it, do you think? How much of a head scratcher is it?
What's wrong?
Well, I know Mr. Natsumi is also claiming to not have seen anyone else around, but...
But just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean be sure that nobody else is present.
Sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be.
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. It what? Two very reliable witnesses, no less. Gasp. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them.
Witnesses now?
Who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife. The man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London.
That one? No. Shouldn't need it. Shouldn't need it. Okay. I figured that.
Fellow and his wife. The man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. Gasp.
A policeman?
Might change things.
This policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked?
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching them banging the act and all that.
Do you think it might be possible for me to have one of those chips? For us to ask that policeman a few questions?
Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow.
Sir. Okay, sir. I don't imagine so. You need the triple A's for your pumpkin? Okay.
I have no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So I'll give you something to look forward to. That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems.
Policeman witnessed the incident. Judicial assistant is to warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too.
Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector.
Ooh. Oh, actually, since we were here. There we go.
What?
The person who led you to the suspect. I heard that was Mr. Erlock Sholmes.
Bringing him up for.
Something I said? Color is drained from his cheeks.
Oh, nope, not what I want. One the one above it. It's fine, I guess. Who'd you hear that name from?
Oh, it was Mr. Natsumi who mentioned it. I don't know. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it's the rest of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions.
Fiddle faddle.
I don't think so.
Man's an amateur. I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh.
Where he gets his information from. He turns up at the scene of the crime. Wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish. Before you know it, he claims to have solved the case.
Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He's a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Jibble jabble. I think it says gibble gabble, but it sounds boring.
Gibble! Gibble, the little shark!
I've seen this before. That's Rance Magazine.
The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes appeared.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. The so-called Great Detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any of Sherlock Sholmes' tale at all.
I suppose there's an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us. Only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. Ugh. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals.
Can't really be true, can it, Inspector?
Clearly, the Great Detective and the police have a complicated relationship. Go over that. Oh, I'm so tired. Bubble's my monitor. Tomorrow's trial. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not? Well, yes. Makes no difference to me. I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole. The prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey. You mean that's not who said it, but it's fine. There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It's all a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
The only people he usually bothers with are the real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones. Master criminals?
The violent ones?
That's right, he handpicks his victims. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins.
But Mr. Natsumi wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely.
That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better word. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No. It's gotta be... reason he's taken an interest?
Really? What sort of research, Inspector?
Think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? To ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. You're really going to have to face the Reaper again? Lord of Darkness, as he put it. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective.
Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion?
Oh? Yes, what is it?
Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this.
By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly. But what if I don't wanna?
Those shining eyes. Can't wait, can you?
Well, Mr. Natsumi did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Just going to ignore that? Hope not. Sure, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. The trouble is, I have no idea if the man's just even Big Street. How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street. Most famous address in the world. Is it 221B? I know it's B. One, two, two? You don't know? Whoa. Awkward. Getting mixed signals here, Bubbles. So loud. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. Try to find our way there before Susato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable. Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage. So we're to have a reunion already. The great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. God bless you. God bless you, Bubbles. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? It's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding.
Oi! What are you foreigners doing here?
We
Just investigating. We're conspiring with that mustached fella from Japan, are you?
conspiring.
Got me to destroy evidence, have you? Get out of here before I give you an hiding. Go on.
You shoot us away like rats.
Guess we should give him a wide berth, I think.
daunting experience.
So one of the officers from Scotland Yard. Police are making sure this crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wandered too close, we clapped in irons.
I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. You've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern.
Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on.
Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. Does you no favors at all. Oh, British bicycle, look! The wheel is so misshapen. I'm sure it could possibly be ridden any time.
Someone's been doing some breakneck cycling.
Since bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently, there's even a movement to change women's dresses to allow them to ride as well.
Bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would ride something like that.
Goodness, do you dislike bicycles?
No, not at all. It's just, I just like them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. Ever tried walking on stilts and falling into a river? You'd agree with me. Ever tried to walk on stilts and fall into a river? You'd agree with me.
We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around.
Sure, Susato-san. Sure.
It's a typical brick building, isn't it? Sure, it has a long, interesting history.
Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll in place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks like in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here.
Let's find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible.
Yes, right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Oh, look at the windows of that building there.
Sure there are windows?
I think they used to be. Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks.
Oh, you're right. Wonder why.
Money.
Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment. Smoke coming from the chimneys, though.
Chimneys, though. Whatever.
Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. So much we have to learn about this place. we're having issues. Clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? The dense fog as well? It looks hazy. Well, it is known as Foggy London Town. Just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It's still being built, though. Aha! Yes! That must be the Crystal Tower being built for the Great Exhibition that's open in 6 months' time. Apparently it's going to be very striking. Gazed on all sides and symbolic centerpieces of the exhibition. Let's see. It's to be the largest exposition in history, is it? Can't begin to imagine it. Piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. These carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disappears. Soon disappears from orders. Nope. So soon disperses all the snow. It's not what I read 3 times. Ooh, okay. Slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. Seems like it would be far safer to walk in the road instead. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo. You're dressed all in black? Well, a coachman might see you and think you could be flattened by horses. Well, thank you for the rather small concern. Just all this education I was missing, apparently. Hehe, what a delightful snowman! You realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. Looks a little creepy, though. Oh, it has a scarf, look! You'd need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. Wish I'd had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment. Huh? Boo. Certainly can't afford a scarf. I'm sure the snowman here wouldn't miss his. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. How does she do that? I know, you're right. Anyway, if I borrowed it, I wouldn't do so. Just my neck. What it? It's covered in snow. Let's, I guess, do the coach. Oh, it's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals. Very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of these through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows, then. That would be being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, it's the only way. Help me find a good stone. No. No, no, no. I wasn't serious. Did all the conversing. Present move. Okay, so it's suggesting Sholmes is next, but as evidenced by the fact that me trying to read it has periods where I'm just quiet because I'm falling asleep. I think we're going to go ahead and stop before we go see Mr. Sholmes for the evening, so that we can try and do this another time when I'm not half asleep. So, members of the jury, thank you all so much for coming out tonight. As always, it is greatly appreciated. Tomorrow we will have to see. Vex did donate for another stream for Extra Life, but I need to verify if he's wanting us to do Resident Evil 2 or if he's or if he has another game in mind for his donated time. We'll have to see. So, yeah, be on the lookout for whichever one of those it ends up being tomorrow. Yeah. Also, keep in mind, speaking of Extra Life, keep in mind that we do have coming up here in just a little over a month the 24-hour day of play, where Bubbles and I will be awaiting your game suggestions for how to spend our 24 hours. And remember, your donations can let you pick games that we will be playing. Oh, goodness. I think it's all there is. So, again, thank you all so much for watching this. And until next time, this stream is adjourned. Good night, everyone.